Alexa, turn the bedroom lights blue.
Okay.
Alexa, turn the bedroom lights orange.
Okay.
Alexa, turn the bedroom lights white.
Okay.
Putting up Philips Hue lights behind crown molding is a lot of work, and I learned a few lessons while doing this project. In this video, I'll talk through everything that I did. The key thing with any kind of lighting and crown molding is that you're going to need additional support. Because normally, the crown is going to go, this top part gets attached to the ceiling, bottom part gets attached to the wall. But I won't have that. I won't have the ceiling to attach it to, and that means I need extra support. The idea is that I take a piece of wood with a right angle, and I put it right up on the wall, so when the molding is up, it's got this extra piece of support. You can see it right here, and I'll put the nails right through that. When you look at this product online, the profile showed that it was completely flat back. It's not. That created the problem of I couldn't just take a right angle. I had to match on this one part of the product that was flat. So to get started, I put up some crown where I'm not going to have the lighting, where it's going to be flush. And then I took a perfect right angle triangle that I put in for the support. The problem is that this barely touches on the flat point. I need something that's going to hold it up a little bit more and stick out. It's about a finger width, so I need to cut a whole bunch of support, like this. One of the problems you get here is that a piece of wood may be warped. And so you'll have it level on one end, and then you get to the other end, as you can see right here, what I've got is level is not. You take a look at this piece, I don't know if you can see it on the video, but the tops and bottoms of the two different chunks of wood here, I'm not going to install them even. So this is a little trapezoidal piece, and it was tough to get the cuts the same shape. So it's not a triangle, it's a trapezoid. And the key piece here is that the 45-degree angle, the facing part, which is what's going to support the crown molding, that's the piece that needs to be flat and level with the rest, rather than the tops and bottoms of the piece of wood itself. Because you want the crown molding on the front to be level. Everything else is going to be not visible. When I hold the gun up, it pushes it up a little bit. So I always start with the wood a little bit lower, a fraction of an inch lower than my target. And same thing when I'm trying to hit level. But the thing is, we need to keep a constant line, a straight level line on the crown molding, because when it gets over to this corner, right over to here, I need to make sure that it lines up and we'll get right to that wall, right to the ceiling. So here's where the rubber meets the road. My crown starts right here, and you can see there are two different ceiling heights, and it rolls all the way around the room. So I've got the supports running up over those bookshelves, over past the window, through that corner, over to here, and all the way back around. When I bring the support up and around to this corner, the crown molding should fit neatly against the ceiling. I'm going to test it. So this should fit neatly like this. And look, bloody well doesn't. So that means I've got a problem. This has to come up. So I finally got the whole thing up. It turns out that my ceiling isn't level, and so I was using a level to keep the molding level, and I ended up just having right in that corner along this wall, it goes slightly down so that the two match up. One of the challenges you need to solve with an LED lighting project is where to put the adapter, where to put the electrical. Philips Hue doesn't offer you an option to direct wire. You have to use one of these adapters. And of course, the adapter has to fit behind the crown. Now, you could sort of get it to fit. It's not perfect. It's going to be a little bit tight. I'm also worried, since it sticks up just a little bit over the top, that it might be visible from the far side. One of the things I considered here was to use a recessed wall outlet so that this would be buried in further and I have a little bit more room to maneuver. Unfortunately, all of those wall outlets were too small to accommodate this large of an adapter. I also did some research on Philips Hue, and apparently if you string a whole bunch of extensions onto this, it starts to whistle. Can you hear that whine? It's pretty subtle, but I didn't want that in my bedroom. My solution was to leave one little gap here in the molding, and what I've got is this very small faceplate that accommodates a hole that goes through into the master bedroom closet. And then I just run the wires right through. Then on the other side, in the closet, I've got this little faceplate here that the adapter wires run through, and they plug into this 2-gang outlet. Now, I could have done a single gang. I think all I need are these 2 adapters, but I was worried about that whistling sound, so I wanted to make sure that I had extra capacity in case I needed to run a few more main LED light strips from Hue. The other thing I learned about Hue when I was researching this project is that sometimes the hub has difficulty connecting to the lights. It can't find them. From what I understand, it's generally a pretty quick fix. One of the easiest things to do is to just reset your Wi-Fi router. But you know, when you're tired, you don't want to have to deal with that. So what I did is I hid in the closet this little wall switch, and this switch provides power to the outlets that are powering Hue. So if we get home late and we're tired and we don't want to deal with the problem, we could just kill the power in the closet. I could have put this out in a more accessible place, but I'm hoping we won't have to use it very frequently, and I don't want to mar the walls with some random wall switch. When it's all done, you can't see any of the wiring going into the master bedroom closet. It's all hidden right in there. You want to keep in mind when you're doing an LED crown lighting project that the light isn't just going to shine out, it's going to reflect against every surface. And if those surfaces have a color, the light bouncing off of it will accentuate that color and will diminish the other ones. So I've already painted the area of the wall a very pure white that will reflect the light out. The back of this crown molding, you can see it's sort of yellow. And then if I leave that as it is, it's going to accentuate the yellows. And it's going to diminish my blues and my reds. It's going to turn my reds a little bit orange. It's going to turn my blues a little bit green. So what I'm doing is I'm painting the back of the molding. Don't need to do a good job of it because no one's going to see it. You just need to make sure it's white. And I'm just using a primer here. I'm not even using a real, nice surface paint. And again, no one's going to see this. And I'm only painting the top half of it, the part that will be exposed to the light. The bottom half is going to be buried beneath that support, so I don't need to worry about it. For this project, I chose a polyurethane product from Millwork. It's really lightweight. You can just toss it up with one hand. It's actually fairly flexible. It's really easy to sand and to saw. It makes cope joints an absolute joy. One of the things that I love about this Millwork crown molding system is that I get pre-cut corners. I don't have to worry about doing complicated cope joints, which can take a lot of time. The flip side is that these have right angles. That means that I have to get these to line up perfectly with my straight pieces of crown so that I can hide the joint with caulk. What I'd rather have is a scarf joint, so a 30-degree cut right along here so that I can slide the two pieces over each other. And if they don't match up perfectly, at least I've got something behind it that the caulk can catch on. When I'd originally mapped out this project in my head, my plan was to do the LED lights last. I didn't want to accidentally send a pin through the strip and break it. What I'm realizing, however, is on the walls with the vaulted ceiling, where it goes like this, I'm going to have trouble getting my fingers between the crown and the ceiling to get the LED light strips laid out. So instead, I'm going to go do those now, and I'm just going to have to be very careful not to send a pin through the strips. Alright, now put in the last piece of crown, and I'm basically done. I still got a little bit of caulking work to do and touch-up paint, but I've got my crown molding and LED lighting up. I feel pretty good about it.